Wow, guys. So Jessica Tarlov was on the five, and she tried to defend these Democrat-run cities and attacking Trump while she did so. The host didn't agree. You guys got to check this video out.
Dumpster fire of epic proportions. Instead of being known for the
Good
Golden
question.
Gate Bridge, places like San Francisco feature a poop map and drug ridden homeless encampments on every corner. Now, a pair of left wing journalists are trying to figure out why blue cities are
That's a good
spiraling,
question.
and even they admit liberals can't just blame Trump.
It is often our own side whose obsession with process is getting in the way of outcomes.
5 states that homelessness is highest, including Hawaii, California, Oregon. They're all governed by Democrats. That's not Donald Trump's fault.
All right. Katie,
So
would you agree with Klein?
before we get in there, man, sit there and think about the worst place you ever been in the U.S. Now think about who's in control of that place. Democrats, Republicans. Most of the time, it's a Democratic place. It's these people saying Trump is not coming. Trump is not going to come here and take away these illegals. Chicago, for example. You got Brandon Johnson in there. You got Boston. You got Mayor Wu, Michelle Wu. These people are trying to be anti-Trump. California, dude, the gang violence there is insane. Gavin Newsom. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, sit there and think about these places, and then try to give me a comment down below about how you feel about these places. It's that simple, man. Let's keep going.
And Thompson there that their assertion that blue states are losing not because of Trump, but because of their progressive politics.
Yes, and because of corruption and because there's more regulation on building a business or putting a fence in your yard than there is on people pooping in the street or building their tent cities. I mean, that's really what it comes down to is when you're in these places, you're not comfortable, you're certainly not having fun, and it's not a place that people feel like they want to spend their money, their time, not to mention raise their kids and have a family. So it's pretty basic when it comes to focusing on things that work, government that works, and not harassing
Yep.
people who are following the rules or allowing people to just break all the rules around you and feel unsafe.
And Jesse, they're saying that when you focus on this progressive stuff, what you're not dealing with real outcomes and real people. And is there any way to be a progressive and run a city and somehow balance that progressive liberal stuff and have a successful city?
Well, not anymore. Right now, they don't like civilization. They want to tear it down. They think all this stuff we're building is bad for the environment. They want to give the land back to the Native Americans. And, Judge, if there's an endangered species like a snail, no progress.
So even with the endangered species over there in California, they had like an endangered fish or something like that, and they were protecting the fish over making sure they got the water to put these fires out. How would you feel, man? I'm sorry if you live there, but how would you feel if you live there if you do not currently? How would you feel if you live there and there's like, these fish are going to go extinct if we release this water? But these pictures of you when you were 2 years old, 5 years old, 9 years old are going to be lost because the house gets burned down. So we're not going to release the water. How would you feel, man? That's honestly what I want to know. Let me know down below in the comments. I really want to know.
Maybe you call them the good old days. You have
Mm.
these politicians that were more patrician, and
Mhm.
they were very successful individuals, and they would be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll be a public servant. I'll serve the public instead of today where they just serve themselves. And then they'd appoint all of their successful friends in the administration, and you'd actually have good services and you could build things. Now, it's like some moron mayor appoints like some even dumber guy to be in the cabinet because like that moron helped them win Queens. It's a patronage mill, and no one has any skills, and they just steal all the money. Also, lastly, Judge, it's the lawyer's fault, and I have to tell you right to your face. There's so many liberal special interest groups, and now all the groups have their own lawyers. So if
Yeah.
anything wants to get done, you have about 1,000 lawyers come in and sue, and just nothing happens.
How do you think the people who are leaving states like California and identify the move? Do they say it's because of the liberal nonsense, or do they say we just want to go?
So you guys see all those tents. Look at Jessica. All these tents is what the Democrats call affordable and good living. Uh, I almost cuss, but come on, man. Imagine you have a family of five and you're living in a tent. How would you feel, man? And you just keep voting blue, no matter who. How would you feel? Would you keep voting blue? Would you would have voted for Kamala Harris? Dude, we would already been asleep from a nuke.
to a safer red state?
They say it's a quality of life issue. And I don't, you guys, you know, liberals out in the real world who feel a lot like I do. They're not looking to switch parties, but they want safer streets. They want a good subway experience. They, you know, they want it to be like the good old days, like when Mike Bloomberg was the mayor.
I
of New
thought
York
he was
City.
a good mayor.
Everyone thought he was a good mayor.
Giuliani
This
was
book-
pretty good too.
So their book, Ezra Klein and Derek Thompson's book, Abundance, is going to be the guidebook for the next several elections the Democrats are going to run. And they actually are lifting up progressive values, things like having good healthcare systems, having affordable housing, transitioning to cleaner energy. But they're doing it in a common sense, pragmatic way. That's the difference. They're talking about cutting red tape, which is a huge problem. And right after the LA fires, we were remarking like, oh, it's not so hard actually to cancel regulations that you don't actually need, right? Like if you need to build housing fast, you can do that. You can cut this red tape and move forward. The issue will be, and it will expose people within the party who are the NIMBYs, the not in my backyard people who have all these, you know, grand ideas about making sure that everyone can live in a
Shut
nice
up.
place, et cetera, but they
Shut
don't
up,
actually
Jessica.
want affordable housing anywhere near them.
You know, Greg, when you think about Gavin Newsom in California, I mean, there's so
Yeah, just ignore Jessica at this point, man. Bring on Hannity. Just bring on Hannity and let's have a better show with common sense. The thing that I hate most is these Democrats, they sit there and it amazes me. They sit there and they claim that they have common sense and they always continue to vote blue. They They continue to vote Democrat. How is that okay, man? But you're gonna tell me you have common sense. Let's keep going, man. Let's see what we got.
much of California that's absurd, like the Tenderloin District and all of those areas. They have the highest homelessness. By the way, they have the biggest poverty level in the country in California. Gavin Newsom's not stupid. Why doesn't he just look at Florida and say, if I change this, I can be as popular as Ron DeSantis?
He's not doing his job. Look, the conclusion is pretty outrageous that these guys came up with.
So, do you see that thing right there? The little blowtorch looking thing. These people smoke that. It's called a whippet. These people smoke that. And then they sound weird. They get really high. And then they're just standing there like high. And then you have a bunch of people. I'm sorry. I gotta show you guys this. That fentanyl. You give a bunch of people that fentanyl. Next thing you know, they're standing like this. Sleep. But these are all Democratic run places. How is that okay to sit there and make sure this is okay? That's why I stopped voting blue because I wanted a change for the family, the people around me, and I just want to see people be way happier. At first, you're never going to be happy with whatever you do, but eventually you become happy. Let me know what you guys think about this video, please, down below. I put a lot of effort and time into this one. Please, down below, comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And as always, let me know what you react to. We're out.